testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
This is Saturday night in Los Angeles, and in a moment or two, we're going to fill the airwaves with some very strange and interesting sounds.
So we're literally just a squeeze.
My name is Henry. 8-5.
He dropped 3 was you could really feel the water coming. It was so groovy, you can't believe how groovy it was. Just water
Looks in your noses and drag you into captivity for communist soldiers to betray your culture. Many women have let America go down the drain.
That's just the way it smells.
So now, in your imagination, what is about to happen is real.
Henry, I had good luck with the big thing last night in Hollywood Park. Now give me a call back now and good luck to you. Good luck to you, Henry Phillips. You know, I was really nice to you, and you're a prick. You're a rude little prick. You know, you act like a, you know, you dropped off my meal like the Russians were in Santa Monica. You're an asshole. You ain't going no place in this business.
Only you can hear and see behind the eyes of the sleepers the movements and countries and mazes and colors and displays.
These juveniles had no point to make whatsoever in their demonstration other than that they didn't want to obey the law. I don't care what
Want about 1 cup of gin, so we're literally just a squeeze.
Problem with the young people. My fellow Californians, this is Ronald Reagan.
Cornstarch, it's just gonna be like one fucking mess after another. Just piss off people that can't afford tickets for a
They allow their children to. They wouldn't run around naked, but they allow their children to. Say, Americans have what the Joneses have. And so the husband has to work 18 hours out of 24 in order to get what the Joneses have.
And wishes and flight and fall and despairs and big seas of their dreams.
I've never been a social guy. I'm always making children cry. I guess that's just the way it smells.
That's the story.
Even though they say she's out of my league, I'm coming up with a plan. I'm gonna change the way I strut my stuff. I'm gonna be a new man. I'm not gonna beg, I'm not gonna plead. I'm just gonna give her something she needs. I'll make her homemade ice cream. Ice, milk, and sugar, and you shake it all up and make the homemade ice cream. There is on top, and I'm gonna make her mine tonight. The world is changing and there's no way out. We're spinning out of control. Turning, turning in the widening gyre. The center cannot hold. Which is why, do or die. There's only one thing left for me to try, and that's homemade ice cream. Ice, milk, and sugar, and you shake it all up and make the homemade ice cream. There is on top, and I'm gonna make her mine with my homemade ice cream. Ice, milk, and sugar, and you shake it all up and make the homemade ice cream. There is on top, and I'm gonna make her mine tonight. Welcome to your life, I trust you will be opportunities and endless possibilities around you. Visions of a world that once was beautiful, but now has failed to meet up to called me up in the middle of the day. She had to turn me down. At first I wanted just to throw it all away, but then I turned it around. I took out the milk, grabbed some ice. Nobody else can tell you what to do with your life. You gotta meet the world face to face. I'm gonna make this a better place with my homemade ice cream. Ice, milk, and sugar, and you shake it all up and make the homemade ice cream. Berries on top, and I'll have a good time with my homemade ice cream.
Now we basically just want to crush
Ice, milk, and sugar, and you shake it all up and make the homemade ice cream. Berries on top, and I'll have a good time with my homemade ice cream.
Okay, so let's just shake this up for about
Ice,
5
milk, and
minutes.
sugar, and you
Actually,
shake
pretty
it
good
all
exercise.
up and make the homemade ice cream.
Now we can put whatever toppings on there that we have
Berries on
handy. I've
top,
got some
and I'm
almonds.
gonna have a good time. Homemade ice cream.
Testing. Check. 1, 2. Testing. Check. Check. Help. Help. Help me. Help. Whew. Computer, volume 10. Computer, what time is it?
It's 11:02 a.m.
Computer, how much coffee is
As of close
I'm
on
not
Tuesday,
done.
June
Hold
9th,
on.
coffee
Hey.
futures
Hey.
traded at $2 and
Computer,
44 cents.
stop. Jeez. Hello everybody and welcome to Henry's Kitchen, where today I'm going to be teaching you how to make something called Jamaican yellow yam stew. I hope that doesn't mean I need yellow yams. I have a yam. It's not yellow. Computer, are there different colors of yams?
Yes, yams come in different colors, mainly white, purple, and red. The purple variety often has a sweeter taste and vibrant color inside. All types are nutritious and delicious in various dishes.
Fuck. Okay, well this is not yellow, purple, or red, or whatever she said. Computer, what if my yam is like brown?
If your yam looks brown, it may be due to natural coloring or storage conditions. Check for any soft spots or unusual odor to ensure it's still fresh and safe to eat.
It's brand new. I got it from the farmer's market. Computer, is buying stuff from the farmer's market safe?
From UNL.edu. Vendors at farmers markets are responsible for the safety of the products they offer for sale.
That doesn't answer it, does it? Okay. Welcome to Henry's Kitchen, everybody. Game Master Flash says a lot of vegetables come in different colors. I have a handwritten recipe from the 600 BCE that calls for a teal carrot that is now extinct. Yeah, you might want to update your book there, your recipe book, because I'll bet a lot of, I would say if the ingredients that it's asking for are now extinct, that's a very old cookbook, and you might want to burn it so as to make room for new cookbooks. That's my suggestion. Dark Ages says, yeah, just write it in. Change the carrot to orange. Oh, that's one idea. It's Kate X says, if only we knew someone who had 2 recipe books. I think we do. You can get both volumes of the Henry's Kitchen cookbooks on Amazon.com. Every now and then somebody will email me asking me when I'll get more in stock on the website, and hopefully they know you can always buy Henry's Kitchen cookbooks on Amazon. They just won't be signed, unfortunately. But in some cases, that makes it actually more valuable. So, okay. Yeah, and Game Master Flash says, I have both of them, and I always forget to bring both of them to a show, so the Master Explainer can sign them. Yeah, don't forget, I can sign any kind of merchandise that you show up with. I can even sign anything. Just come on over. Please, for the love of God, show up to one of these shows that we do, because they're a lot of fun. Illy says, can you sign a yam? I would imagine I probably could. Okay. This background is It's Kate's vinyl album. And it arrived much earlier. I have mine. I'm going to find a nice background here. Phaedrus gives us this picture, which is, he calls the Forrest Gump Point, presumably in the American Southwest. Well, I have an announcement to make, and that is that my vinyl album of Jose Suicidio has arrived, and I worked on this album with Jose Suicidio, and I have to tell you, it really is a pretty momentous occasion for me. I grew up listening to vinyl records, and I listened to this all the way through on my record player, and is it my imagination, but it just sounds much better. It sounds like the music I grew up listening to. It just sounds, maybe it's a compressed thing that happens when you put it on analog, but it sounds distant, like that's the artist and they're over there and I'm here. Whereas I think with digital, sometimes everything sounds like it's right there in the room with you, which is cool too, but this just made me very nostalgic and very excited. As you can see here, this is an exciting moment for me. I don't want to sound like some kind of cockeyed optimist or something, but there's a lot of things about the modern age that people, especially my age and older, tend to complain about, and rightfully so, but you can't deny that some things are better. From my own home, I was able to produce an album with Jose Suicidio with basically a computer, and I was able to call people from around the country that were acquaintances, some new, some old, and I was able to get them to record tracks and send them to me, and all of their credits are on the record and everything, and you can find them. It was an incredible experience for me, and I was only able to do it because technology has brought us this kind of thing. This record wouldn't have been, you couldn't press something on a record when I was growing up. That was insane. You had to do it on a cassette, and then when CDs came, it was easy to burn a CD. And suddenly you've got the same platform as, whoever the big artist was at the time, Alanis Morissette or whatever. But now, but you weren't able to have a record, but now you can. Granted, it cost, I think it was about $40 plus shipping from the UK, so it was about $55. So I had to take out a loan, and it took several months. I think about 6 weeks to arrive, so that was a little bit of a downer. But I have it, and I'm just extremely happy about it. Homemade Ice Cream is the song that you heard when the stream was starting, and that song is sort of a metaphor for the fact that, nowadays you can go on the internet and learn how to make ice cream. And that was something that when we were growing up, we pretty much just bought it in a carton, but now you can make it at home and you can make your own whole album. There's a lot of bad things you can do too, but I can't deny that this is a very exciting time in that way. Sorry, thanks for letting me go off on that. It was just a very exciting moment for me, and I appreciate all the support. I also want to say that the whole thing wouldn't have happened if I didn't know that there were going to be people that were going to support it when it came out, and I thank you for that. Okay, what are we doing here? All right, we've got a lot of alerts that we're going to read up. I Slap Cat Butts has cheered 100 bits, and I want to thank you, I Slap Cat Butts, and I want to make sure that when I Slap Cat Butts is slapping those cat butts, I hope that they are doing it very tenderly on the bum bum, not anything hard. We don't want to slap our cat butts very rigorously. We just want to, give them little pat on the bum bum. They like that. Ladies lead. Humans often like it a little harder. Ladies Laid has cheered 10 bits. Thank you very much, Ladies Laid. I really appreciate it. And Jangle Cat says, yeah, more of a gentle stroke. Yeah, I agree. Chernot the Singer says, please be gentle. Yes, absolutely. My late sidekick, Roast Beef, was also my cat, and I don't know if he ever really liked me or knew really what to make of me. He would always get annoyed when I'd walk into the room when he was sitting there doing nothing, and he really hated it when I was cooking. Oh boy, now we've got another situation that we're going to have to get to. So much going on here. But Roast Beef did, I have to say, he did appreciate when I gave him a little pat on the bum bum. What the fuck? Beelzebub gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much, Beelzebub. And I want to say a special thank you to Beelzebub too. Beelzebub was one of the first ones who, when the subject came up about the Jose Suicidio album coming out, Beelzebub asked if it was going to be available on vinyl, and I hadn't thought about it. But Beelzebub, you're very instrumental in my decision to put the album out on vinyl, and I appreciate that. We're going to check in here with Brisket. Brisket is the de facto temporary pro tempore or whatever mascot here. A lot going on. Let's get the camera on Brisket. Oh, come on. Why? Okay, hold on. We're gonna get this, guys. Everybody stay where you are. It's not a big problem. Brisket will be showing up here very soon. There's Brisket. Brisket's turning into a little bit of a watchdog. Every time there's somebody walking down the hallway, she'll do a little bark, and it's kind of annoying, actually. But hey, I want to say an extreme thank you also to Game Master Flash, whom I've had beers with, and we've talked music. And Game Master Flash has very generously gifted 5 tier 1 subs to the community. Thank you so much, Game Master Flash. And Caitlin's Kitchen, whom I met in Naperville a couple years ago and don't see all the time, but is very supportive. Thank you for the tier 3 subscription. Absolutely amazing. Thanks so much for that, Caitlin's Kitchen, and I hope you're doing well and hope things are well in your kitchen. They're not in mine. I've got all kinds of problems with pests. Lady Dina, thank you so much. I should have mentioned this about 20 minutes ago. Lady Dina, thank you so much for cheering. And Aodwin has subscribed. Thank you very much, Aodwin. I hope I'm pronouncing that one right. And Computer Fart For Me says, I don't know what the kids call it these days.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Yeah, nobody seems to know. Royal Flush 9 says she's protecting the kitchen. That's right. That's what Brisket's doing. Corinne Opinion says, do you think she would defend you well? If you put a comma in that, then it would make sense. I think she would defend me, comma, well, or maybe ellipses. I don't think she would defend me very well. Okay, Butt Smasher Masher says, hi, Henry. Hey, thank you, Butt Smasher Masher. Hi, right back to you. Hope you're out there mashing butt smashers. Remember, they're not someone who smashes butts. They are one who mashes butt smashers. Computer Fart for Me says, I'm fucking sick of computer. This shit hasn't worked in like over a month. Come on. I agree with you totally, Computer Fart for Me. Guitar Joe says, sorry, I'm here. Please don't give me a demerit for tardiness. Today's been a logistical nightmare. Guitar Joe, you have not missed anything at all. There's just been filler. We're waiting for people to show up. We have 165 viewers, which is certainly nothing to sneeze at, although I might sneeze at it because I have allergic situations happening. But Corinne Opinion says, and I'm disappointed. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you, Phaedrus, for this background image. We have a lot of other images. We've got songs, and we've got a huge fucking thing to make today. Cher, not the singer. I always say Cher, not the singer. I gotta blow my nose. Is dealing with an issue here. Apparently, Cher, not the singer's landlord or neighbor, wants to take down this beautiful maple tree. And Cher, does this kind of overlap your property, or is it? I would say in a way it's partly yours because it seems like it's pretty hard for it not to be part of the community. But this, of course, houses all kinds of creatures, great and small, birds, insects, squirrels living in this thing, and it's very sad to see that they want to take it down, and I don't blame you for being upset about that. I don't know what the legality is in terms of all that, but this is a maple tree. Don't forget. Oh, the branches do overhang, so it's partly your property as well. Parasitosis, yeah, it's a sick tree. This is sick, for sure. It's huge and pretty awesome. I would definitely call it sick. Cher, not the singer, says he doesn't like cleaning the leaves. Well, he's going to have to get over it. Maybe I'll go over there and just be one of those people that just gets in the tree. And I'll just start a whole tree house there. And if they're going to cut it down, they're going to have to cut down Henry's kitchen in the tree as well. But there was something I was going to say. Oh yeah, the band Rush has a song called The Trees. Maybe this neighbor of yours needs to listen to that. There's unrest in the forest. There's trouble with the trees. For the maples want more sunlight and the oaks ignore their pleas. It's a song about trees fighting. Duzah says, then don't clean the leaves. Lightning bugs live under them anyway. Yeah, that's a whole thing. All right, it's time to check out some other stuff here in terms of... Caitlin's Kitchen says the Lorax has entered the chat. What's the Lorax? Is that someone... Where's the Lorax? I'd like to read their stuff. Corinne Opinion says, did you ever own a tree house before or have a friend who did? Yeah, I did have a friend when I was living in Englewood, New Jersey. We used to go up to a little tree house that we'd hang out in. Beanie Bo Beanie sends us a picture of some dangling beetles. What is the context here? This is very interesting. It's dangling beetles. Is it the real Beatles? Did they do a show or did they do a presentation of Peter Pan at one of their rock shows? It's very interesting. Dark Ages says, did the Beatles dangle for all of their concerts? I never saw them live, but if I'm finding out right now that they were dangling that whole time, it would be a huge surprise. Corinne Opinion says this might be a stunt they were doing for one of their movies. Oh, okay. Well, it worked. Now I want to see more. Pancake King says, I think this is how you paint or powder coat them. This is how you paint a beetle or power... Oh, I see. This is how you power coat a beetle. Interesting. Okay. It might be how you wash them. Beanie Bo Beanie says, most beetles can fly. That is a good point. Well, thanks for sending this. It was fodder for a lot of interesting conversation. And that's mostly what we're looking for here. Corinne Opinion. I didn't know Corinne Opinion that you were an artist, but apparently you found a DIY situation where you were able to, and sorry about the aspect ratio here. Let me see if I can fix that. You found a place that will take your phone cover and allow you to put your own personalized artwork on it. And this was a piece of your artwork that you were able to put on your phone case. That's really awesome. Congratulations. This reminds me of the homemade ice cream situation. I think when these phones came out, we didn't know that we'd be able to personalize them to this extent. It's very, very cool. Corinne Opinion says it's my main hobby. Oh, that's cool. So I don't know whereabouts you live. Are you in the United States? Is this a new service that we're going to be seeing people providing where you can actually put your own artwork on your phone? Because, boy, we've got a lot of great artwork here on Henry's Kitchen. It'd be fun to do that. Corinne Opinion says, I'm in Poland. Okay. Well, it's a very cool thing. Hopefully it will catch on here. Thank you so much for sending that. Corinne Opinion says, I'm a Pole. Well, one of my best friends from high school was Polish, and he was a good man. I haven't seen him in a long time. Dark Ages says, so many talented users in Henry's Kitchen. Yeah, there sure are. Well, thank you for sharing that. And let's get ready to do our song. We got to start homing in on a visual that we can do our song with. I think this is going to be the one. Yeah. Dark Ages bringing in... Oh, wait. Let's put this back. Dark Ages is bringing us some darkness. Let's see what the caption says here. This is one of our resident photographers. Sunset in Quebec City 2 nights before we left. We were biking back to our hotel before dark and got stopped in our tracks at this view of the sun setting behind nearby mountains. Magical place. Wow, that is fantastic. And you had to stop, and there's no way that you can go by something like that and not capture it. And what did you did this with your actual camera equipment as opposed to like an iPhone or something? Because every time I see something beautiful with my iPhone, I try to take a picture of it and capture it. And it really just, the iPhone is incredible, at least mine is, at making something incredible look like actual shit. It doesn't have the depth of field, and I guess it makes sense because it's a smaller lens. They have gotten better, Dark Ages, but there's a lot they can't do. All right. Well, let's go ahead and grab the guitar. Take a quick look at our protector here, Brisket. Looking a little bit more lively than she used to. But always, and I don't want to use this term in a derogatory sense, always looks a little stoned. I find that kind of interesting. Just sort of the eyes are about halfway. Okay, so let's go ahead and put some reverbus on here. Checking the mic 1, 2. 2. It's Kate X says she's just suspicious of the chat. Yeah, and I think of me too. I made a comment a couple of days ago about a coyote, and I said something like, I'd rather run into a coyote than a cockroach. And I could tell that Brisket. Wait, why do we have bad internet? Or is this going to be a bad internet day? Can you guys hear me okay? I really don't want the internet to screw this up for us. Okay, it's better now. But yeah, Brisket was looking at me like, rather run into a coyote than a cockroach. What is this guy on crack? What is he talking about, this fucking guy? Brisket swears a lot, which we're going to have to figure out. But I think his heart's in the right place. She just grew up on the streets. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and do this. Oh, Caitlin's Kitchen, missed it. Who's the dog? This is a foster dog. I am growing a little bit attached to her, and I think that's a bad thing. I think they call that a foster fail, but at the moment, trying to do my part to help the animal community, and I'll have more updates about that, but she's pretty cool. Maybe I'll show everybody a little later how she comes to me when I call her when I'm on the couch. Oh, Beelzebub says Beanie Bobini. Henry, Angry Penguin 922 had a birthday on Monday. Can they get a song, please? Absolutely. Let's go ahead and do that. Thanks, Beelzebub, for doing that. I sometimes miss these. Venus Frogski says, wow, how very considerate of you. You know. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a birthday song for Angry Penguin 922. And hopefully Angry Penguin 922 is not so completely upset or angry on their birthday. And I have another very special birthday shout out right afterward, and I'm going to do that. It's nobody's birthday, no need for candles on the cake. It's nobody's birthday, it was just a big mistake. It's nobody's birthday, no need for some big to-do. 'Cause it's nobody's birthday but Angry Penguin 922. That was a birthday that happened on Monday. So happy birthday, Angry Penguin, from all of us. And I also have another birthday celebration. But hold on. I thought I had written it down, but maybe I did not. Sorry, everybody. I'm going to do this. I just want to make sure I get the date right on this. Yeah, okay. So this birthday is June 11th, but we're going to do it today because this is the closest. All right. Sorry, I had to borrow the brisket cam for a second there, but we're getting it back here. Hang on, everybody. Okay, brisket cam is back in place. There we go. Very special birthday. Joe Kelly Jr., you might recognize that name from some of the credits on not only songs that I wrote, but also the Jose Suicidio song. Buy Me a Cup of Coffee is entirely written by Joe Kelly Jr. It was used as the soundtrack for the Veggie Duckin' episode with Joe's brother Wade Kelly, not Jr., just Wade Kelly. And Joe Kelly Jr. is an incredible songwriter, and we've collaborated a lot. And you can hear Joe's song buy me a cup of coffee on the new Jose Suicidio album, wherever you stream music. And it was Joe's birthday, or no, it's going to be Joe's birthday tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and do the shout out right now. Maybe we'll get a little bit more of a festive birthday here. Background here. Hold on. Just going to jump to something. Here. Oh yeah, It's Kate sends us this one. This looks to be some outdoor festival or something, so let's go ahead and do this. Oh boy, I got to think of... Okay. It's nobody's birthday, no tail on the donkey today. No need to celebrate being alive when your dreams all get whisked away. It's nobody's birthday, no need to be filling up a bunch of pizza and birthday cake in your belly. 'Cause it's nobody's birthday but Joe Kelly Jr. Nothing rhymes with Jr. I couldn't do that part. Thanks, Joe Kelly Jr., for all the amazing songs that you write and you allow me to sometimes bastardize. And our collaborations are very special, and I hope you have a great birthday tomorrow. Joe usually watches on the DVD after the fact. Okay. Happy birthday, and thank Beanie Bobini says, Henry, watch out, there's gay behind you. Oh, is this a pride situation? Hey, shout out to all of our pride celebrating people out there. And It's Kate X says peculiar. Cheese Toast 9 says it's nobody's birthday, but I'll eat cake. Oh, you're talking about Rhyme for Junior. Yeah. It's nobody's birthday. No need. But then how do I put it in there? To do anything peculiar. Because it's nobody's birthday but Joe Kelly Jr. Absolutely. Happy birthday, Joe Kelly Jr. again, and also happy Pride. And thank you very much to It's Kate for posting this very festive and cool pic. All right, let's go ahead and do... We have a lot of requests to do, so I do kind of want to do a Jose Suicidio song soon. Maybe not right now, but here, let's go ahead and do... Oh, we've got it here. Maui Girl sends, as usual, a beautiful, beautiful picture of presumably where she wakes up every single morning. So let's go ahead and use this as a background for the song that was requested. This is going to be perfect. Adam Roach Swallower sent us a song request from Jimmy Buffett. So this is a great Jimmy Buffett background, even though he was from the other side of the country or of the continent. But still sort of fits. This is in Paya, Maui Girl says. Taco Bell Toilet Seat says Suicideo. It's spelled D-I-O, but similar. Let's check in on our alerts real quick here. Bradford Bartos, good to see you. Bradford Bartos has subscribed for 45 months. Amazing. Always good to see you on here, and also great to see you in person in February, back when we did St. Louis. Great to have a beer with you. And Sergeant White Pepper says, how is Jose? Jose is very disappointed. He thought that he was going to sell 3 million. That was what he wanted, 3 million vinyl records. But as it turns out, he sold about 30, which is, I think, like 1%, which is still pretty good. Computer, what percent of 3 million is 30?
30 is 0.001% of 3 million.
Yeah, so he sold a little bit fewer. And so he's gone back to bed and is just depressed until I can wrangle him out of bed to go get the new album. Dark Ages says, Jose is never happy with what he's got. That's why he's so suicidio. Yeah, we all remember the song by Phil Collins, So Suicidio. Carinu Opinion says, when's the last time Jose smiled? I think it was after the Whore of Sausalito became the runaway hit that it became. Computer, how much money did Jose Suicidio make in royalties on the Whore of Sausalito?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Yeah, see, it's such an astronomical number that the computer doesn't even know how to say that number. Okay, let's get back to work here. We've got a song. I'm going to try to remember. I just learned it this morning, so... Jimmy Buffett, always bringing the light vibes, and I like it. And this was requested to us by Adam Roach Swallower. I think Roach Swallower is the handle here on Twitch, and then Adam is the username on Discord. I'm guessing. So any parrot heads out there, you might know this one. As the son of a sailor, I went out on the sea for adventure, expanding the view of the captain and crew like a man just released from indenture. As a dreamer of dreams and a traveling man, I have chopped up many a mile, read dozens of books about heroes and crooks, and I learned much from both of their styles. Son of a 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 sailor, son of a gun, load the last ton, one step ahead of the jailer. No way in the near future. Now way in the near future, southeast of disorder, you can shake the hand of the mango man as he greets you at the border. And the lady, she hails from Trinidad, island of the spices, salt for your meat and cinnamon sweet, and the rum is all for your good vices. Wait, I gotta do that again. I'm reading this, so sometimes it's kind of hard. Salt for your meat and cinnamon sweet, and rum is for all your good vices and your bad vices. And Seguro Ooh says all spices. Haul the sheet in as we ride on the wind. That's our forefathers harnessed before us. Hear the bells ring as a tight rigging sings. It's a son of a gun of a chorus. I'm probably doing this wrong. Now where it all ends, I can't fathom, my friends. If I knew, I might toss out my anchor. I've tossed out my anchor a couple of times this week. So I'll cruise along, always searching for songs. Not a lawyer, a thief, or a banker, but a son of 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 a sailor, son of a gun, load the last ton, one step ahead of the jailer. Outro. Hey, Roach Swallower, thanks for requesting this. This is a fun song. I'm just a son of 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 a sailor. The sea's in my veins, my tradition remains. I'm just glad I don't live in a trailer. Bill Kunstler says everyone needs a lawyer then. Yeah, that's true. We need them, but we don't want to be them. But we do need them. And that was interesting because it says, I'm glad I don't live in a trailer. If I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, Maui Girl, who gave us this beautiful picture, I think lives in a trailer or some type of setup like that. So everything sort of came together. Royal Flush 9 says, trailers are terrible at sailing. Yeah, but you can transport them very easily. Pop-Tart Eater says, great performance on that one, Henry. Hey, thanks, Pop-Tart Eater. I appreciate that. I like learning new songs. Oh, Maui Girl says she lives in a school bus. Yeah, that's... Hopefully the chairs are all taken out, though, the seats, right? Because that would just be kind of awkward, like if you had a kitchen, but there's a bunch of school bus seats in it. Saguaro Ooh says, trailers for sale or rent. Oh, but sale is spelt S-A-I-L. I like it. Nice wordplay. Maui Girl says, I finally have clean water to drink after 7 years. Well, if you've been waking up in a situation that looks like this every morning, then who cares? Okay, we're getting internet interruption, and I don't know why. I don't like it. But I don't see what it could be just yet. Let me see if... I'm going to close a couple programs here. Corinne Opinion says, I think swapping which chair you want to sit on in a quick matter might be fun. Yeah, maybe with some music that stops now and then. Okay, and then we've just got a alert that came down the pike. Wow! Okay, we've got a lot of alerts here. Plasma Saint showed up here. Plasma Saint has subscribed, a new subscriber. Thanks, Plasma Saint. Thanks for joining us on here. And we got 100 raiders. Mary's Milk Monster. Mary's Milk Monsters. I think that you've raided us before. Thank you so much for your raid and sharing your audience with us. Your Milk Monsters. And Eclipse Producer has gifted 5 Tier 1 subs. Thank you so much, Eclipse Producer. This is a really, really cool moment here. We just did a really fun song, and we've got a cool background, and we've just had 100 people show up thanks to Mary's Milk Monsters, and then Eclipse Producer gifted a bunch of subs. So if anybody's keeping track, we have 331 subs right now, and I think that's pretty darn good. What do you think of that, Brisket? Our temporary mascot. Brisket is so excited, just absolutely beaming. Okay. So, wow, Beelzebub gifted a Tier 1 sub to Mary's Milk Monsters. Thank you so much, Beelzebub. And Mary's Milk Monster says, nice, we just processed some duck eggs for sale. Wow, duck eggs. I'm not sure I've ever had those, but I guess it makes sense, right? We're not working with eggs today. What we're going to be making today is this. No, that's not it. That's what we made last time. It's going to be this. No, that's a random picture. All right, I have to pull up the picture, but I'll just tell you it's Jamaican yellow yam stew. Okay. Wow, bigger and richer than chicken eggs. That sounds pretty awesome. Beanie Bobini says, I was hoping for chicken wing. Yeah, we always have these types of problems. We've got another song request, though, but I'm almost afraid to do this because I don't want to disturb Brisket because she's sleeping right now, and that's actually good for the stream because she's not excited. But I kind of want to show you what happens here. Hold on. One thing that's different between cats and dogs is cats generally, they don't like you very much, but they sort of put up with you. And to me, that's pretty awesome. I think that's wonderful. The difference with dogs is they actually will love you unconditionally, and they'll just do pretty much whatever you ask. And I'm going to demonstrate that. So Brisket is currently sleeping, as you saw, but I'm going to demonstrate what happens when I call her over. Here we go. Make sure this is working. Oh boy. All right. Okay, so I feel a little bad that I got her up for nothing, but I wanted to show everybody. Did that work? I didn't get to see what was happening there. Paws on the apron. So much for food safety. Yeah, but that's okay. I'm only cooking for myself here. Nobody else needs to. Oh. So, Brisket is now back in the original position. So it's like the whole thing didn't happen right there, but I thought that was pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and wash the dog juice off of my hands. Dog juice is the sort of saliva that gets mixed in with their hair when you pet them. And you don't want to get that into your stew. Unless it's very hot stew, then it'll probably kill whatever germs are in there, but it's still. What do we have here? Oh, that's our old dog, Archie. Archie's no longer with us. He had sort of a tragic thing going on about him. Okay, that was just kind of depressing. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to show Archie, but Archie was a good dog too. If you want to know for sure, Archie did end up being very happy, and you can see that in the Henry's Kitchen videos. Okay, I gotta wash my hands. I'm glad that we had that exciting moment, but Brisket is back in the cage. Okay, so let's go ahead and change up the background here. We did the Jimmy Buffett song. Thanks, Maui Girl, for that awesome picture. We got to find something a little dark here. WTF sent us this one. California, yep. I'm not born and raised, but certainly raised. I could consider myself that to be my home state. Been here since 1980. Hell yeah. Is this in California, and where is it? Thanks, WTF, for sending us this. Eclipse producer, yes, absolutely. I'll never forget moving here from the dreary parts of the, not to put down New Jersey, but there was, as a kid, when I was 10 years old and we came out and there were palm trees and beaches and stuff, I just couldn't believe it, and I still feel that way. Evil Ian 02 says, yep, that's what California looks like, fish and giant bears. Well, you can definitely get some good seafood, and I went up to the Sequoia National Forest for a camping weekend, and they were having a problem with bears there. and they would come down and terrorize the campsites, and I was like, why are we here? Doesn't seem like a good idea. Guy Gadboy 88 says, isn't that the plot of The Karate Kid? What, fish and giant bears? I don't remember that part of it. This is a picture that's sent to us by Sereth. Is that, am I wrong? Is that called Baby Yoda? Or is it called, it's like Guru or something like that? Graku? Parasitosis says they want some of your picnic baskets. Grok. This is Grok. Oh, Baby Bong? Guru Yoda. Eclipse producer, Grok, but not the one from Elon Musk. Okay. Gugu. Grugu? Does anybody know? Carino Opinion says, why is it naked? I don't know. Let's change it up. Thank you very much, Sereth, for sending us that picture of Graku. And what else do we got here? Maui Girl sends us this really terrifying picture. Apparently, this was on display at Walmart. They really need to give you a heads up on that. And how much? Yeah, $50. That would be a cool mask. Uh-oh, there we go with this internet thing. I'm going to have to... Delicious. The News Junkie raided. Wow, we're getting raids. Thank you so much. The News Junkie, good to see you. The News Junkie raids us every now and then. It's The News Junkie, all one word. THENEWSJUNKIE. Thank you very much for sharing your audience with us, as well as Mary's Milk Monsters, all one word. And Frivolous Disguise says the reverb is still on. Yes, it is, but that's because we're going to do another song. I'm just trying to find the right background. So this is a cool picture. Thanks, Maui Girl. I just need something a little bit sort of on the dark side because we want to do a Pink Floyd song. How about this one? Oh yeah, this one's kind of creepy. This is from Capacious T, who also gave us our opening artwork. Yeah, this will work. Thanks, Capacious T. I'm not sure what the story is on this. But I find it fascinating, and we're going to do our song to it. It's a song that was requested to us, I think, by Capacious T also. So it's one of those situations where we're doing a song to the same user's background request. Song request to a background submission would be the appropriate way to say it. So here we go. This is a song by Pink Floyd. Computer, is Pink Floyd still alive?
Pink Floyd's living members are Nick Mason, David Gilmour, and Roger Waters.
Oh, that's right, of
Their
course.
Their deceased members are Richard Wright and Sid Barrett.
I forgot. Pink Floyd is not a guy who writes songs. It's a band. Okay, here we go. This is from The Wall, which I saw when I was 10 years old. Well, I remember seeing excerpts of it on TV, and it was very depressing, but the music was so good. Mother, do you think they'll drop the bomb? Mother, do you think they'll like this song? I'm not going to be doing all the chords in between because it's a little longer. Mother, do you think they'll try to break my balls? Ooh, mother, should I build the wall? Parasitosis says, Mother, do you think it's okay to take a rip of the bong? That might be a lyric coming up. Bill Kunstler loves this song. Oh, cool. Here we go. Mother, should I run for president? Mother, should I trust the government? And then this part goes high. Mother, will they put me in the firing line? Trying to do Roger Waters there. Ooh, is it just a waste of time? Hush now, baby, don't you cry. Mama's gonna make all of your... Oh, it changes time signature, shit. Mama's gonna make all of your nightmares come true. Mama's gonna put all of her fears into you. Mama's gonna keep right here under her wing. Freud would have a field day with this song. She won't let you fly, but she might let you sing. Mama's gonna keep baby cozy and warm. Ooh, babe. Of course, Mama's gonna help build the wall. I think I'm starting to get the feeling the wall is sort of a metaphor. Big Doug Millionaire says, Henry beating those strings like they owe him money. I wish they had sort of a breakdown part of this song, but they don't. Tony Spumoni says, silly prog rockers and their time signatures. Yeah, I'm kind of ignoring that part of it. I'm doing it in like just a real, what do you call it? Rubato? Alright. Mother, do you think she's good enough for me? Mother, do you think she's dangerous to me? Mother, do you think she'll tear your little boy apart? Ooh, mother, will she break my heart? You don't need mother to tell you that. Hush now, baby, don't you cry. Mama's gonna check on all your girlfriends for you. Mama won't let anyone dirty get through. Mama's gonna wait up until you get in. Mama will always find out where you've been. Mama's gonna keep baby healthy and clean. Ooh, babe, you'll always be baby to me. We went into Mother's voice on that, I think. Teaser Tuesday says, I'll watch on mute though. Yeah, that's probably the best way to watch this. Oh, Teaser Tuesday says, ugh, time for 3 meetings in a row. Okay, well, you're only missing audio that's kind of half-assed. Oh, wow, there's a lot of people leaving. I better just finish this song here. Mother, did it need to be so high? Corinne Opinion says, I've been watching on mute this entire time, actually. Well, we definitely enjoyed your artwork, and I think that you must have been watching audio during that time, but definitely mute during the songs. It might actually do that automatically because it's copyright protected. Frivolous Disguise says, I genuinely love your music you play. Well, thank you very much, Frivolous. And Royal Flush 9 says, clap, fuck the haters, Henry. That was awesome. Thanks, Royal Flush. I didn't know there were haters. Everyone type Force and says, what? I'm muted? No, I can hear you. Parasitosis says, needs someone to do ASL in the corner. Oh yeah, that would be awesome. Thanks, everybody. Corinne Opinion wants to say, what was that, Henry? That was Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd is an amazing, amazing band from I guess the early 70s. Did they go all the way back to the 60s? Computer, when was Pink Floyd first released?
From Facts.net. Pink Floyd's debut album, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, released in 1967, was a lush and experimental record that has since become a rock classic.
Yeah, so they've actually been around a long time. Okay, all right, everybody. I think it's time. It's time to do what we do the worst here, and that is cooking. So let me just make sure that we've gone through all the pictures that the users have submitted. Nymph NL, I assume that stands for Netherlands, maybe? But sends us this really cool picture. Nymph, if you're there, let us know exactly what's happening in here. I like it. And no, it's Nymph NL. And then we also have Nancy Drudels sent us this beautiful rendition of Capacious T's artwork, which she says she's using as a screensaver for her phone, which is awesome that you can do that as well. Very cool. I keep having to adjust the aspect ratio every time it's a phone. And then we have, I think, one or two more pictures here. We have, oh yeah, this one, this last one is dear to my heart. As we talked about earlier, this is the Jose Suicidio vinyl record. And this one comes to us from, I think, Duza. And this is Miss B. Miss B is approving of the Jose Suicidio album. Thank you very much, Duza. We're going to go into the kitchen. Where are my manners? I have to put up the Tier 3 subscribers. I haven't gotten a chance to do that yet. Running out of magnets here. I'll take the calendar down. Sorry everybody, this is really embarrassing. I should have put that up beforehand. As Duza has presumably received their vinyl record, so have I. And I'm not going to talk about it again. I gave a big speech about it, but this makes me very happy. It's the vinyl record of the new Jose Suicidio album that you can get on Bandcamp. There's a link to Elastic Stage where you can purchase the vinyl record. It takes a long time to show up, and it's expensive. So how's that for a selling point? It's Kate X says, happy for you, Henry. How cool to have your own music on vinyl. Yeah, thanks, It's Kate. And thank you, the users, for telling me that there was going to be a market for this, because it's extremely rewarding, and I appreciate it. Somni4L says, who would want to buy a cheap vinyl anyways? Yeah, that's true. I would want, if I'm going to get a vinyl, I want it to be as expensive as possible. And I got to say, I listened to this one down. I kept on waiting for something. I don't know what I was waiting for, something to not like about it, but it really sounded better. Corinne Opinion says vinyls are more popular than ever nowadays. That's cool. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Okay. Royal Flush 9 says mine's been stuck in Bell Garden for the last week. Oh, that sucks. Hopefully they'll get it out there to you. All right, let's get the reverb off. We're going to start cooking here. Let's take a look at some of our ingredients here. We have a yam. This thing calls for this website calls for a yellow yam. I don't know what color this is, sort of brownish, but the computer said there's only red, purple, and yellow. So I don't know what this is actually. But we also have an onion. We have some bouillon. Probably the first thing we should do is boil some water. It wants vegetable bouillon. I just saw this one that said not beef. So if it says not beef, I assume that means it's vegetable? What are they talking about here? What is it then? How many types of foods actually label themselves by what it's not? That's weird, right? It's like not hot dogs. And then it's like apples. Beanie Bo Beanie says, so many fresh ingredients today. Yeah, we're going to have a nice wholesome meal. All right, let me go ahead. I need, how much? And we're going to make the full amount here of this recipe. But I want to get started on the bouillon. 2 cups of vegetable broth. So this thing holds exactly 2 cups. You know what? It doesn't really. It holds more than that, but it stops at 2 cups. And I always think, would it have been that hard for them to just go up to the top and do another 1/4 of a cup? Because they could have fit a little bit more measuring on there. But I have no idea how much it is if you fill it all the way to the top. Venus Frogski says no dividing by 7 for this recipe. Yeah, thank goodness. We're not doing any math because you can store stew, apparently. It says here on the website, why are stews better the next day? In dishes with spices and complex flavors, eating them as leftovers or in a second meal is just as, if not more, enjoyable as when they are initially cooked. Okay, I'm not buying it, but let's see if they give some evidence or some kind of corroboration about why that would be. That's what the headline is. Something about sitting and slowly soaking up all the flavors really will take your super stew to the next level. Okay, so it does more soaking while it's in the fridge, I guess. Also, if you reheat it on the stove, this gives it an extra cooking time with heat, which even further will help the flavors marry. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. It sounds a little like bullshit, but we're going to find out. Let's just put 2 cups of water in our hot water heater kettle thing. Okay, so that's going, and while that's going, we can prep our other veggies here. We need to pound our yellow yam into bite-sized chunks. Purple Donut Filling His Fruit says, hey Henry, when my great-grandpa was middle-aged, he got sucked down a corn silo. Suffocated and got crushed. Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. Did your Henry's Kitchen neon light stop working? Yeah, it did. It took one too many falls, and now it's not coming on, which is making me sad. I might be able to get an electrician to fix it, but right now I really don't know how to fix it, but at least we have it. It just blends in very much in the background there. Okay. Computer, do I need to wash my yams?
According to the CDC, hand washing is one of the best ways to protect yourself and your family from getting sick. You can help yourself and others stay healthy by washing your hands often.
I didn't say wash my hands. Computer, do I need to wash my yams?
According to the CDC, hand washing is one of the best ways to protect yourself
I'm gonna wash
and your
just
family from getting sick. You can help yourself and others stay healthy by washing your hands often.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and start cutting this thing here. We need a potato scraper, which I have somewhere. Yeah, here we've got this. Okay, I can tell that our water is boiling. That's a good sign. This thing's probably dangerous, so we got to be very careful. Wash my hands. Computer can be such an idiot.
I'd like to know what went wrong.
Delicious.
If you want to give me more details, just say, I have feedback.
Computer, I have feedback.
Sure, tell me what's on your mind.
I said, do I need to wash my yams? And you thought I said, I need to wash my hands.
Thanks for letting me know.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know if there's anything that's going to be done about it, but okay, here we go. Let's put this away. I know that there's alerts and I'm going to get to them. I'm just focusing a little bit on this right now. Let me throw these in the trash. Let's take a look. Sonic Youth says she's just as confused as before. Yeah, very confused. Hey, we got another raid. This time from Tontino Officiel. That sounds French. Tontino-OFF. I'm sorry, just one O, F-F-I-C-E-L. C-I-E-L. Officiel. Tontino Officiel. Thank you for sharing your audience with us. Okay, CC. All right. Je peux parler un peu de français, mais pas beaucoup. Okay, let's go ahead now. We want this in chunks. So it says cut into bite-sized chunks. Now everybody's got a different size mouth, so I don't know if that's a standard thing to say bite-size. But let's just sort of guesstimate, I guess. Let's cut the ends off here. I could probably do that in a bite. Now these are getting a little big for a bite, so let's cut this maybe this way a couple of times. If you're just joining us, we're making yam stew. Evil Ian 02 says thick yams. Yeah. What are we going to do with these big silver dollar looking ones? I'll cut those in half. I hope there's not a lot of cutting shit because it's really kind of a downer. I guess the rule of thumb would be, can you picture somebody choking on one of these bites? And if so, cut it in half. Like this is a big old thing here. Okay, I think that's enough cutting. And let's get rid of these two. Let's see what's going on with our water. This is boiling water. We're going to pour this in here, and there should be 2 cups. Yeah. And now we need to do this bouillon thing. Not beef is what it's called, not beef bouillon. But can we find directions? It's got directions for broth. That's what we need. Dissolve half a cube in 1 cup of hot water. So half a cube in 1 cup, we have 2 cups. Computer, what is a half a cube times 2?
0.5 cubed times 2 is 0.25.
Okay, so we need 0.25 of this. That can't be right. Taco Bronson says, do you just have to guess what kind of bouillon it is? Yeah, it just says not beef, so it narrows it down. Half a cube in 1 cup of hot water. So 2 cups would be 1 full cube, right? I don't know what the hell is wrong with the computer today. And I don't mean, it sounded like she was offended when I said that earlier. That kind of passive aggressive. If there's something I'm doing wrong, you can tell me. And then I tell her, and then it's like, okay, well, I'll think about that. This is one of my favorite new jokes. It's really corny, but here we go. Computer, I have feedback.
Okay, what's the feedback?
Yeah, no response on that one. That's a pretty classic joke right there that I just did. Nothing. Okay, I think we've got our bouillon, guys. Mr. Anderson 612 says the AI passive aggressive, and it seems to learn how to argue. Yeah, it's really getting some of the worst qualities that human beings have. All right, what's next here? We want a small onion chopped. I have a large onion. What I'll do is I'll just cut that in half and then chop that. So, how do we do this here? It's impossible to cut an onion exactly in half, but we're going to do the best we can. My God. My God, this is not easy. Okay. And then this, let's go ahead and cover this up with some tin foil. I'm sorry, aluminum foil. In my day, we used to call it tin foil. But I guess tin foil hasn't aged well as a term, and it's not considered politically correct. So I don't want to be one of these guys that uses the outdated terminology. So aluminum foil we're going to put on our onion. Royal Flush 9 says, I wonder if that bouillon was named by the same guy that did I Can't Believe It's Not Butter. Well, then what the fuck is it? Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm not really sure. Beelzebub says T''N. Yeah, it's okay if you It's Kate X says it's tinfoil over here. You're good, Henry. Yeah, it's Kate. There are some words in the UK that you guys are able to say that we're not allowed to say here. A C word comes to mind. And also, what I found interesting is when I was in the UK, the word douche apparently is meaningless. Nobody, or at least at that time, nobody ever used it. But they didn't even really, it wasn't really a word. So it was kind of fun for a little bit because you could call somebody that and they wouldn't know that you were insulting them. Corinne Opinion says, I just call it shit I wrap sandwiches with. Yeah, you can call it that. Okay. All right, so while we've done our... Oh, now we have to cut the onion. Hold on a second. I'll peel this a little bit, but I will let you know that it kind of peels while you're cutting it. So you don't want to end up cutting something twice or peeling something twice. All right, so this is going to work. I think it was Julia Child, who was a very famous chef, who said there's really no right or wrong way to cut an onion. But that there is some disagreement on that in the culinary community, I believe. Some of the newer ones say that there's a special way. But a lot of times they're just trying to create some sort of specificity where there isn't any so that they can be influencers or whatever. Okay, we're not using garlic for this. We're using garlic powder. Computer, garlic powder is basically garlic crushed up, right?
Garlic powder is made by drying and grinding garlic, not just crushing it. This process brings out a mild, sweet
Okay,
flavor
computer,
of
stop. But it's still garlic, so... Joel's Gag. I want to thank you very much, Joel's Gag, for showing up here and subscribing. Beanie Bobini says, how do they milk the coconut? Yeah, I don't know, but we have coconut milk here. We could probably ask if Mary's Milk Monsters is still with us. We could probably get a good response to that, an educated response to that question. Okay. A little overwhelmed here, I'm not going to lie. We got to talk about... We've got a medium red bell pepper. Oh, fuck. I've got a green one. And it seems to be one of those vegetables that's a portal into another world where somebody has a Jose Suicidio album and a cat named Miss B who approves of it. Let's see here. So I have a green one. I can't imagine. Computer, is there really that big of a difference between a green and a red bell pepper?
Yes, green and red bell peppers are the same fruit at different ripeness stages. The red ones are sweeter and milder, while green ones are firmer and slightly bitter. Both are great in salads and cooking.
Okay, well, the computer's just contradicting me left and right here. I'm starting to run out of board, which is a problem. Whoa, I didn't know there was just going to be a shit ton of little seeds coming out of this thing. I better put this in the trash real quick before it gets all over the place. This is starting to feel like the project that never ends. Adjix says, so they're the same pepper, but there's also a huge difference? Yeah, I guess they're the same, but they're different. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. Different stages of ripeness. So if I let this green pepper sit for a couple days, it's going to turn red? Or the other way around? That doesn't sound right. Okay, so now we need a handful of spinach leaves. I've got them here. Let me cut off the stems at least. I can't imagine that I'm going to need to wash these also. We're going to be making stew, so now I feel guilty. I'm just going to go ahead and rinse them. That can't possibly have done anything productive. But let me throw away all of this. Okay, so as you can see, sorry, where's my, sorry folks, I can't seem to find my, now I don't even remember what I was looking for. Oh yeah, something to dry my hands with. As you can see, we're starting to amass just sort of a whole lot of shit here. We will be needing some bay leaves, and but I think we're just about ready. Some stoked paprika, which I have. Hold on, everybody. This is a shitty part of it, is trying to find all this stuff. stoked paprika. And we also want some dried thyme. I might just go with the allspices. Yeah. So this is a product called All Spices. This is from the Henry's Kitchen collection. It's basically all the spices that there are. And you can just use that. And our garlic powder. Wow, where is... Here it is. Garlic powder. I think we're doing okay here. I think it's time to start working. Okay, let's check in on our alerts. Lady Dina, thank you so much for cheering 5 bits. That's very kind of you. And Jules Gag, thanks again for joining us here and for subscribing. Kelpie says, suddenly a bunch of mise en this place. It is a lot of mise en this place. I can't remember what that means, though. Computer, what is mise en this place?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Okay. Carino Opinion asks if my apron is capable of drying your hands. It is, but my last apron, I was drying my hands with it every day for many, many years. And it wound up getting really nasty because I don't believe in washing aprons. Okay, let's get started. This is going to be difficult. I'm just going to do a tiny bit of cleanup here with some of this ancillary residue that we've got here. And this can go back. I have a beautiful, absolutely beautiful Dutch oven that was gifted to me by you, the users of Henry's Kitchen. And we're going to be using that today. I just can't believe how lucky I am that you gave me this. I think it was either a birthday gift or it might have been an anniversary. But it's very, very cool. So we're going to use this. So heat your coconut milk. This is our coconut milk. We need a can opener, of course. And how much coconut milk? It says, of coconut milk, we need 1 cup. This thing has something like a cup, somewhere around there. This thing sucks. You got to get a good lock on it. There we go. Okay. 1 cup coconut milk, but we've already used up our measuring cup for our other thing. So I have this. It says heat your coconut milk in a large saucepan on medium heat, and it's not a saucepan. We're using an infrared stove with a Dutch oven, but I mean, I imagine that's going to work, right? So that's our coconut milk. And we're going to add the onion, garlic, red bell pepper, and dried thyme and paprika. So this I'm going to wash while that heats. Always wash your dishes while you go, and that way you don't have a shit ton of dishes. I've got an issue with roaches and fruit flies, so I don't like to leave any dishes without with any kind of thing that would be attractive to them. Okay, so now we've got our coconut milk working. We want to add the onion. So this part's going to be a little tricky. We're just going to go by hand here, I guess. Oh. Add onion. This is already weird. Onion and coconut milk, but mine is but to do or die and not to reason why. I think that was Julia Child who said those wise words. Okay, I know you guys have questions. Van Honkerton says, hey Henry, if someone made a product called Not Allspice, what do you think it would be? An empty jar or some kind of anti-spice? It would not narrow the product down enough to where you would know what it is. Pop-Tart Eater 47 says, computer, do you need soap to wash dishes?
You can wash dishes without soap by using hot water and a scrub brush, but soap helps remove tough food and grease, leaving dishes cleaner and spot-free.
It helps remove tough food. Okay, let's get a stirring thing. I'm going to use this. This is one of my favorite gifts. It's not on autofocus. It never autofocuses. There it is. Something like that. Okay, so we're stirring in our onion. We need our red bell pepper. Of course, I forgot to cut this. This has got to be in bite sizes also. Really running out of board space here. I'd say we have a board shortage or a crisis at this point. Not liking it. And this is not the safe way to do this, kids. But I'm a little bit in a pinch right now. Fuck. Literally just way too little board space going on. You know what? Fuck. I think I might just tear this up by hand. Fuck it. Let's just do that. Put it in there. It's gonna get smaller as it boils anyway. It's supposed to be red anyway, so we're just kind of fucking this whole thing up right from the get-go. But I don't see any reason it shouldn't be at least... I don't know about tasty, but I mean, we've got coconut milk, which is a sort of a wild card, and onion. We're using the inferior sort of bell pepper. I just went in there and said, do you have bell pepper? And they gave me a green one, and I came home, and it turns out they wanted a red one. So that person who gave me the green one was an idiot. Okay. So we're also going to add the broth. Oh, wait. Not yet, though. Fuck. We also need to put in the stoked paprika. Dip Trip stoked paprika. I don't know how much of that we're supposed to have, but I'm just kind of getting a little loose with this. We don't have thyme, Thyme, but we're going to use some allspice, which has thyme in it, because it's got all the spices. We're going to bring this to a simmer, which it is. If you look, it is simmering. And now what we need is dried thyme, Paprika. Is it simmering? I don't know. I think it should be. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Oh, it's probably because I put in that broth. Okay, so we're going to add the yam, the vegetable broth, and bay leaf. I hope this turns out good. We've had some shitty ones. Maui Girl 45 says, I keep running out of time. Yep. Time just seems to go away so fast. Okay. We're just waiting for a simmer here. Meanwhile, I can get to your questions. Parasitosa says, is there a conversion rate for allspice to garlic powder? I don't know. Not that I know of, but you just reminded me I didn't put any of the garlic powder. That's what we're missing here, so I'm going to put some of that. And, I mean, I've been cooking for a very long time, so I should be able to guesstimate this type of stuff. Waffles92 says, sorry I'm late. I was hanging out with my wife's boyfriend. What did I miss? Not much. Well, you know, we've done some songs. We have a little fruit fly situation here, but we're basically making a stew. Cutting the vegetables was a huge pain in the ass, and we ran out of board for the most part, but we're getting through it. I think I'm starting to see a little tiny bit of simmering. We also have our mascot pro tempore, which is, I think what you call it, brisket, sleeping away throughout the whole thing. And Tech Shabby says, is this going to cook for 2 hours? I hope not. We can't kill that kind of time. Okay, I think this is at a simmer. It's simmering. It's definitely simmering. So let's go ahead now and add the broth. Okay. And we're going to add the chopped yam, which actually looks more orange now. It was brown, but it's still wrong because apparently what we need is we need it to be yellow. The whole recipe is called yellow yam stew. But what's in a color? Bring to a boil. Okay, so we're going to need to bring this to a boil, full-on boil. So I'm going to turn this up a little bit. No spinach yet. That's interesting. All Day Yucker says, did Coldplay come up with the recipe? Yellow yams? Maybe. Kelpie says, well, if you add the orange yam with the green instead of red bell pepper, maybe this is kind of yellow overall. Ooh, that's good. Yeah. Because I do want to show you the picture of this. Let's see if we can pull it up. Fuck. I don't know why this is so difficult. Beauty pics. It's not that, but I think we're getting closer. Hold on. Here it is. This is the stew we're making. All right, I'm skeptical. Okay. Everyone type force and says, orange, you glad, Jamaican me yams. Orange, you glad, Jamaican me yams. Ah, I think that's, there's some wordplay going on there, and we appreciate wordplay here at Henry's Kitchen. It's a nice way to sort of break up the monotony of the world and just generally have a slight respite from the overall futility of existence in general. Parasitosis says, it was not by my hand that I am once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute. Is that from the Bible or is it from a video game? It sounds like it could be either, but it's pretty awesome. Okay, so we are, if you're just joining us, we're boiling our yams. And let's take a quick peek here. Let's get these to a boil. And let's see what our next order of business is. Oh, bay leaf. We need to put in a bay leaf. I guess you just go like that, huh? And we need to put this to boil, which it seems to be kind of doing. You don't want to have that bay leaf get stuck in your bite when you're eating your stew, so we're gonna probably end up taking it out, which raises the question, why did we put it in there to begin with? But again, mine is but to do or die and not to reason why. As Julia Child once said. Okay, okay, we're bringing this to a boil. We're covering the saucepan and we're reducing to low. Simmer for 20 minutes and then we're going to stir in the stuff. So it's 20 minutes. Somebody asked how much it was going to be. Let's check in on our alerts here. Lady Dina, thank you so much for the cheers of 5 bits and then another cheer of 5 bits. It's very kind of you. And Tech Shabby says, black is the combination of all the colors. White is the absence of color. Yeah, I think that's how it works. I'd have to go back to my science classes there, but I think that's right. And isn't there a thing where black absorbs the heat and white reflects it or something like that? I don't know. Corinne Opinion says, tribute, you steal men's souls and make them your slaves. Oh, it sounds like that's a response to what Parasitosis was saying. Sociopathogen says, that's for pigment. For light, white is of all the colors. Okay. All day yuckers, I don't see color. A lot of people don't. It's called color blindness. Royal Flush 9, correct. Nancy Drudel says, Dazzle, I hear you can kind of trip out if you consume a decent amount of bay leaves. Wow. Sounds exciting. Alright, is this boiling yet? I'm running out of patience. I think it's kind of boiling. Let's take a look. Gonzo Cheese says, love you, Henry. Congrats on getting the special added to your YouTube channel. Such a great special. That's very nice of you, and I'll take this opportunity to plug it. About 10 years ago, I did a comedy special. It was wonderful, a wonderful night. I had so many friends come out to see it, and so many audience members, fans there right in West Hollywood, California, and it was preserved, and yet we never were able to find a home for it. I think it was on Vimeo on demand or something like that, and nobody knew it was there, so fortunately, it did finally find a home on the Blonde Medicine YouTube channel. Blonde Medicine puts out comedy specials, and they called out of the blue and they said, hey, this is really good. You know, what do you say we make a little deal? And so we made a little deal, and they put it up on their channel, and I just couldn't be happier with the way people were responding to it. And I've got a lot of guest performances on there. I play piano and guitar, and I really appreciate it when I hear people say that they like it, because it is dated a little bit. I'm not going to lie to anybody about that. But Johnny Crack says, yeah, you can also trip on nutmeg, which is what Malcolm X was doing when he was in jail. Wait, that's not the comment I was looking for here. Where's the... oh, yeah, Gonzo Cheese. Thank you very much. Love you, Henry. Congrats on getting the special. So I really appreciate that, Gonzo Cheese. And if anybody wants to see it, I think there might be a link here. But you can just go to... yeah, here it is. It's Kate put the link there for the comedy special. But you can just go to YouTube and put Henry Phillips comedy special, neither here nor there, and it should come right up. Thanks. Okay, here is this. So, is it fucking boiling or what, man? I guess. It's bubbling a little bit. I think that's enough. We're going to call that boiling. All right, let's go ahead and close this. My AC just went on. The Chunks says, I tried smoking dried banana peel once after someone told me it could get you high. It did not. That's very disappointing, I would imagine. Hey, Gonzo Cheese, thank you very much for your subscription. Carino Opinion says, I don't know what it is about putting a lid on top of the stew, but it's such a satisfying visual. Wow. Well, we need satisfying visuals here, so let me do it one more time. Oh, we've definitely got some boiling stuff here. I'm kind of excited. Okay. Quanto says, I could see why it would be appealing. Yeah, it is. It is a very satisfying feeling. Jack Dostal says, dang, that looks outstanding. I missed the assembly. Well, you missed the hard part. I'm kind of glad you're just joining us now, because it's been a real pain in the ass. Hey, you know what I want to do? I want to do a song from the new Jose Suicidio album, Live. And it'll be a tribute to my good friend Joe Kelly Jr., who wrote this particular song for Jose. But first we need to set a timer. How do we do this? Let's see here. 17 minutes. Computer, can you set the timer for 17 minutes and call it Jamaican Stew?
Jamaican stew timer, 17 minutes, starting now.
Okay, here we go. Dark Ages says, I had a smoked meat sandwich at Schwartz's in Montreal, on your word, and it was incredible. Wait, did I recommend Schwartz's in Montreal? Smoked meat sandwich. It sounds amazing, but that doesn't ring a bell for me. But maybe I was, maybe I have been there and I've forgotten. I am getting old. But either way, it sounds... Oh, Dark Ages says, I was talking to Quanto. Oh, okay. Yeah, well now I think everybody wants to be part of that conversation. Let's all get smoked meat sandwiches at Schwartz's in Montreal. And it's going to be way better than anything we've probably done here. Renthar says, Henry, what was the inspiration for Jose's new song, Homemade Ice Cream? I can't get it out of my head. I'll just say it real quick because I said it at the top. Homemade ice cream is sort of a metaphor for the fact that in this new day and age, as though, of course, there's a lot of negative things that technology has brought, new questions that need to be answered, new problems that need to be solved. But the one thing that's really great that we can't ignore is we can do a quick Google search and make ice cream right there at home. You don't even need an ice cream maker, and I've demonstrated how to do it. And you can learn how to make ice cream right there without going to the store, especially, you know, when the economy's getting a little rougher for people. That's a good thing. And in the same way, you can make an album that you dreamed of doing for many years right from your own home, and you can Google things like, how do I EQ this to make it sound a little bit more like a Jimmy Buffett song or whatever. You can do it all because of the sharing of information and technology. And the other thing I want to say about it is you can put a prog rock song that you started writing when you were in your teens and never did anything with, and just stick that in there because you don't have a record label telling you what you can and can't do. Thanks. Dazzlecat says the bridge transition is in Homemade Ice Cream is really well done. Thanks. It took me a long time to try to get those to match, and I really appreciate hearing that. We're going to do the song, and I'm going to have to pull up the lyrics. Buy me a cup of coffee. Wait. I have to put lyrics. Otherwise it's going to be like, what do you mean buy you a cup of coffee? Jose Suicidio. This is a song written by Joe Kelly Jr., whom I've collaborated with a lot and is a good friend for several decades, at least 3 decades. And his music was first featured in the Veggie Duckin' episode of Henry's Kitchen, and we've also collaborated on songs in my previous career as a comedic singer-songwriter. Guitar Joe says, nobody else can tell you what to do with your life. You're absolutely right. And let's put the reverb back on. But Joe is having a birthday tomorrow, so in honor of Joe, I'm going to do this beautiful song that he wrote that Jose Suicidio covered, and it's on the new album. If I can remember what key it is. He was a star, but he didn't get far. That's the way of fortune and fame. Yeah, he was funny, made lots of money, but you can't remember his name. And if you see me out on the street, buy me a cup of coffee, put me back on my feet. He went to parties and he met starlets. He even had a wife or two. Those were the good days, those were the old days, but now those days are through. And if you see me out on the street, buy me a cup of coffee, put me back on my feet. Now Jose Suicidio added this part, which someone called out that it sounds a lot like Let It Be from the Beatles, and there is an ongoing litigation happening where Jose Suicidio is trying to sue the Beatles catalog for using that little bit from this song. It was November or maybe December. She saw him on a TV show. He did a guest spot and then she remembered his name was Hollywood Joe. And if you see me out on the street, buy me a cup of coffee, put me back on my feet. Buy me a cup of coffee, put me back on my feet. Joe Kelly Jr., thanks for writing such great songs, and happy birthday tomorrow. I hope you have a great one. There's a lot of nice comments here. It's Kate X, so good. Yeah, Cyanar says, beautiful song. 10 Carl, the Balderdash Lad. That's very cool. And the Balderdash Lad said the steam from the stew made that way more wholesome. Oh, that's cool. It's not an effect. It's not like I just demand to have a smoke machine when I perform songs. It's actual steam coming from our stew. Computer, how much time left?
You have 9 minutes and 50 seconds left on your Jamaican stew timer.
I'm excited. Parasitosis says, peace and love. I am countersuing with peace and love. Sincerely, Ringo Starr. Peace and love. Well, that's cool that he's at least putting peace and love in his lawsuits. Okay. Parasitosis says, songs got me thinking about Everlast's What's It Like. Oh, I gotta hear that one. Renthar says, ever notice how there's some girls named April, some girls named June, but no girls named October or February? Well, we're going to have to do something about that. Okay. I guess this would probably be as good of a time as any for us to do our thank you song. The reason I do the thank you song is I want to show my appreciation to the folks that from the very beginning of the Twitch streams here on Henry's Kitchen, that that people came forward, like the folks that run the Discord and set it up, and also the moderators and the tier 3 subscribers like you see behind me, and also the technical advisors, our intern, and the big name streamers who've given us raids. And we've had a bunch of raids today. Mary's Milk Monsters. We had Tontino Oficial and the News Junkie. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your audience with us. And just to you, the users, let's go ahead and do this song. Maybe we'll try to do this one to the tune of Homemade Ice Cream. Let's see here. This is to the tune of Jose Suicidio's Homemade Ice Cream, and it's the thank you song to you. Flockin' Dingo Bob, Domby Pop Air 1110, Do Dingle Dog, Ogle Dr. Flanges and Bacchus, Shanius Beelzebub, Mochi's Nirvana, It's K Kairosa and Bumble Vision, the LGX, Chef Reactions, Husky Boyo, Bill Arkin, Music, The Toilet, Nam Moon Moon, Emerald, Orca Mind, and S-Fan, and Bonnie Dazzle Cat, Blurry Little Quest, and Borson Vanilla, Parasitosis, don't forget Quanto, Beanie Bo, Beanie, BK69, Roast Hour, 007, Royal Flush 9, D's Nuts, Game Master, Flash, Mimsy, Coon, the Cat Food Taste Tester, the Chironex, Mochi's Nirvana, Red Hot Hibachi, Ransom, GRS, Litis, Michelle, Heffy, and Lee CT, Purple Donut filling his fruit, Taggart and Borson for the Zodiac Dome, Gary Busey, ASMR, Lurk Bull, Shannis, Nova Glarian, Mr. Gooseberry, BT, Embry 225, Yarkasm, Nico Tazo, Michael Bublé, 4422, Potato Cat Breeder, Passion Error, Minho Shin 64, Midnight, Faded, JSBX Fan, Esnita, Pool Boy 789. Let's do a key change. Dazzle Cat, Zapping, Toad, My Nuts, Saguaro, Uberito 5555, Dinosaur, Ice Lab, Cat Butts, Jimmy's 10, Sickly Boy, Beelsby, Hen Lips 1, Kaylin's Kitchen, don't forget our intern and our technical advisors, Beanie Bo Beanie and Quanto, respectively. There we go. Thanks, everybody. That's a true story. That is a song by Jose Suicidio that was repurposed for the purpose of giving thanks to all of you, the users of Henry's Kitchen. Let's check in with our new sort of temporary mascot that we're working with right now. Brisket. There was a cute moment earlier where I called for Brisket and She came to me and sat on my lap, and it was very nice. You can go back to the DVD and check it out. She's a very sweet, sweet creature. Corinne Opinion asks, are we almost done with the stew? My God, I hope so. I'm running out of ways to just sort of kill time here, although I've been having fun doing it. Computer, how much time is left?
You have 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on your Jamaican stew timer.
Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and put in our spinach leaves now. So I'm going to need to grab a pot holder. I hope I'm not ruining this thing by putting the spinach in there. There's a lot of stems there. It's starting to occur to me that maybe I should have cut those damn stems. That's going to be kind of shitty to eat, but it's okay. We're going to leave this in about another 4 minutes, and it's going to be done soon. So let's start getting into plate mode. Let's put our items away. I know you guys have questions. I really do want to get to them. Corinne Opinion says, are we almost done? Yeah, okay. Share Not the Singer says it looks delicious. Oh, awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I got to be careful about putting everything away because here at Henry's Kitchen, we're getting a little bit of a bug problem that we've had for several years. This milk, I think we can still use. I don't know how we have so much coconut milk left. It says it comes with 1/3 of a cup. Cover it up this way. Jack Tostel says, don't drink it. Is it bad? Computer, is it bad to drink coconut milk? Hey! Computer, is it bad to drink coconut milk?
Drinking coconut milk is generally safe for most people and can be a nutritious addition to your diet, offering vitamins and minerals. However, those with certain health conditions or lactose intolerances should consult a healthcare professional to ensure it's right for them.
It always tries to get itself off the hook and said, hey, you didn't hear this from me. Just don't sue me, because it's liability is everything. It basically says, here's the information, but also don't sue me if this turns out to be wrong. Amazon. Am I right? Maui Girl 45, I love how you talk to computer. Yeah, we're just like an old married couple at this point. Okay, I think these items can go over here. Computer, how much time left?
You have 1 minute and 10 seconds left on your Jamaican stew timer.
We're getting there. We're getting really close. Have you ever seen a Crown Royal bag become a portal into another world where there was a Jose Suicidio vinyl record on the other side and a cat named Miss B? That's what happens here at Henry's Kitchen. Parasitosis says, Henry, have you ever seen the video of when Ringo closed his fan mail? No, I have not seen that. That sounds pretty interesting. I'll have to check it out. Maybe we'll put it on the Discord. Maui Girl 45, I love how you talk. Oh yeah, you said that one. Okay, I think we are just about there. I'm gonna have to get a bowl. There might be some pretty big pieces in this thing. So Let me check how we're doing with our alerts. Gonzo Cheese, thanks again. And thanks to our raiders and so many that have gifted subs. Computer, stop. Okay, we're doing this. It's time. Let's see what in the hell we just made here. If you want to see the picture again, that's what it's supposed to look like. And let's see how we're doing here at Henry's Kitchen. Oh boy, that's hot, even with the fucking glove. This looks dangerous. I'm gonna need a ladle, I think. No problem, I've got a ladle. Oh, there's our bay leaf. We don't want that. I've made that mistake before. It sucks. I'll be honest with you guys, this doesn't really look that good. And I'm not, there's a couple problems. There's these long stems of spinach, and I'm not really a big spinach guy. Also, the green pepper, there's a lot of green happening here. The green pepper took on sort of an ugly color, as well as the chunks are a little bit big. But you know what? We're gonna see what this tastes like. I think I need a little bit more coconut milk mixture here. We used not beef, which we still don't know what that is. I'm gonna let that continue to cook. Gotta figure out where to put this. I guess I could put it there. This is our stew. Oh boy, this bowl is hot. That's our stew. Let's see how it compares. Theirs is more yellow, but ours is actually yellow too. Somebody made a really good point that even though we were supposed to use yellow yams, the orange and the green kind of gives an overall yellow impression. So let's see what we got here. Gonzo Cheese recommended maybe adding orange food coloring. We could if I was cooking it for a big dinner party or something, but this is just me, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, I've got a big bite that includes yam. Cat Sundeer says, it looks great, Henry. Thank you. Thanks, Cat Sundeer, for the positivity. Sanus Florida Man says, they look identical to me, although I'm colorblind. Well, that's probably why, because there is a different shade. Robert Table says, well, it looks fantastic. I hope it tastes good. Parasitosis says, reverb is like a garnish. Reverb, that's an interesting thing. Oh, I left the reverb on. Oh my God. Check. Test. Jay Brewer says that photo just had different lighting and post-color corrections. Yeah, they always do professional photo shoots for these types of things. Okay, let's see what happens. My hand is getting really hot underneath here. Fuck. Bottom Defiling Pupil says, just change the color on your screen until it's the same. That's true, you could do that. Thanks, Bottom Defiling Pupil. Kalamazoo Dog says, I think I might make this for my family for dinner tonight. Uh-oh. Something's going on here. Watchdog time. Oh, shit. This camera stopped about a half hour ago because the phone ran out of battery. I should have had it plugged in. So you can't really get an update, but brisket's not doing much different from that anyway. Still very hot. Very hot. Damn, that's hot. But you know what? The yam was a good texture. I was worried that it was going to be too chunky, but it's actually kind of the perfect biteable texture. And the coconut milk is probably the star of our show here. It makes me feel like I'm in the tropics or something. I don't know why that would be. Parasitosis says brisket is just old footage anyway. Brisket's been adopted for over 2 weeks now. That's a conspiracy theory, and it's very difficult to disprove a conspiracy theory. I don't know. I'd have to get a newspaper that has the current date on it and put it in front of the thing, but then you could fake that too. And also, where are you going to find a newspaper? Corinne Opinion says it's all pre-recorded. Are you just talking about all of life? Maybe. All right, here we go. Kelpie says reality is an illusion. My God, I hope so. You know what? It's good. I'm not going to say it's fucking delicious, but I'm also not going to say it's mediocre or anything less than that. The coconut milk is really a fun flavor. It's, I don't know. It's making me feel like I'm on vacation or I'm eating out because it's not something I would normally make for home. And I think it's probably nutritious. Let's take another look at this bite here. I've got spinach dripping off of my spoon there, along with yams. Yams are good for fiber. Computer, what are the good qualities of yams?
Yams are nutritious, rich in vitamins and fiber, and support energy levels. They're also versatile for cooking and add a hearty texture to many dishes. Enjoy exploring their benefits.
You know what? I sure will. Thank you very much, Computer. And Computer, thanks for joining us on the stream today. Nothing. Not even a thank you or you're welcome or anything like that. Purple Donut Filling His Fruit says, I may have to try this, though I don't like yams, coconut milk, or cooked spinach. Yeah, it sounds like you definitely should. Dazzlecat says, enjoy exploring the benefits of your yams. Gumme Cande says, so would you say it's pretty good or just fine? I'm going to put it at 4 stars. So just fine, I think, is 3, and fucking delicious is 5. This is in the middle of those two. There's nothing wrong with it, but it also gets pushed a little bit into the higher category because that coconut milk is really giving me a nice feeling like I'm on vacation, even though I'm right here at home and I have all the normal paperwork and bullshit that I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So I'm going to say pretty good. Parasitosis said, did Computer ever consent to being on any of the streams? I don't know how that works. Computer, do I have your implicit consent to be on my live stream?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Okay, so that would be a no, I guess. All right, everybody. Well, we did it. We made something here at Henry's Kitchen. And let's just sort of leave it at that. But I really enjoyed you letting me go off about how happy I am about some of the things going on, like the Jose Suicidio album. My vinyl showed up and I just couldn't be happier. There's even a picture in there of Joe Kelly Jr., whose birthday it is tomorrow, Mark Cohen, and my friend Gary Stockdale. And there's Wade, Joe's brother, who is, you probably remember him from the Veggie Duckin' episode of Henry's Kitchen. Tech Shabby says, I need the Discord link, please. Is there a Discord link that we can get to Tech Shabby? Yeah, we got it right there. Thanks so much, moderators. Beelzebub, thank you so much for doing that. And It's Kate, Parasitosis. Thanks, everybody. Pancake King says it's a thing of glory. I have mine right next to the Master of Puppets. Wow, that's awesome to hear. Thank you, everybody. And also, don't forget to watch the comedy special if you can. That's on YouTube. It's a 1-hour comedy special. Henry Phillips, Neither Here Nor There. And what else is going on? I feel like there was one other thing. I think that's it, really. Nymph Mystical says, "Aw, dang, I missed the stream again." That's okay, because you can watch all these streams on the DVD, either on the Twitch page or on YouTube. So, thanks, everybody. Just look up YouTube, Henry's Kitchen Twitch VODs. There's a link for them right there. Fire. I'm not into comedy, sorry, but I'll give it a shot. You know what? You might even like it better than people that are into comedy. Guitar Joe says, "Blonde medicine is what you need." Yeah, I'll say. Ghostina Gutter says, "Have a great Wednesday." Have a great Wednesday yourself, Ghostina. Thanks, It's Kate. Thanks, everybody. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. And let's all be good to each other. And I'll see you on Sunday at noon Pacific. And we're going to cook up some more shit. But for now, I think I have a pretty nice little lunch situation here in this bowl of Jamaican yam stew. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you next time.